Let me talk to you a little bit about the lecture for this week. It is page 24 in the series of lectures that you received, and it opens with a bit of a review and then the fivefold task. There are three parts to the lecture: recognizing the spiritual core of an organization, connecting with that core of the organization at the spiritual level, and then reviving the spiritual core of the organization. This lecture is rather theological and very, very spiritual, and may seem a bit, kind of out there for management and organizational leadership. But I believe it is a piece that is utterly essential if we're to really understand and grasp and be able to pull together the full array of resources, the presence of God in helping us lead an organization. Now let me quickly say, first, I believe there's a spiritual nature to every organization. General Motors, Toyota, McDonald's, First Church, Salvation Army, it doesn't matter. There is a spiritual nature. Some of them, of course, are doctrinal in their expression. Others are just there. That's part of what this is about. And secondly, this comes out of a very deep wound in my own life, when a very difficult organization that had a deep culture and I didn't quite get it rose up and harmed me and my family, and I was struggling to try to get a hold and make sense of it. And I believe God has truly helped me, healed me, brought me to a new and wonderful place in life. But the lessons I learned were not available. The lessons I needed, I should say, were not available in the regular books on the business side of dealing with organizational culture. The first part of the lecture is based on the work of Walter Wink, Engaging the Powers. It's an enormous book, very powerful. He has a shorter version called The Powers That Be, which is also worth reading. But here's the point, and this is the recognizing the spiritual core of the organization. I'll stretch you. Every organization has a spiritual nature. In the book of Revelation, I believe that nature is referred to as the angel of the church, or the angel of the organization. And some angels are fallen. Some angels are stumbling. And that helps me to get a hold of what's going on. It's not blaming individuals. There's something in the spiritual core, culture of that organization that needs to be redeemed. With that in mind, and I invite you to read it, and you'll have to read it rather thoroughly to get that. So that you can understand. There are several different types of worldviews that are outlined for you, and how we can apply that to a view of culture. Then the second part of the lecture is on connecting. And how do you do that? I take the example of house hunting and the various ways that families go through house hunting as a way to describe the different approaches to connecting with the culture of an organization. And I think it's true whether it's a business organization or a ministry organization, but my lecture is written toward the ministry organization. And you will see the contextual mechanism, organic, and then the symbolic kinds of studies and ways of connecting. Bottom of page 33, the material there by James Ditz and John Harris. Oh my word, that's really powerful material. And then the third part is how do you connect with reviving the core, and I gave you a place to start. I don't know if you're aware of the work of Christian Schwartz. He actually does what we call organizational culture, only he does it in ministry organizations. And he outlines a list of things that are included in healthy churches. You could probably make parallels to healthy businesses in one way or another. And but he does something beyond that, because he doesn't just leave it at the characteristics, which is so easy to do. It preaches well, it makes 10 chapters in a book, it's easy. But that's not really how it works. The process is how it works. The integration, the tension between them, the dealing with it is what really makes the difference. And he does that as well with what he calls his biotic principles. And again, I think you could take them, they're on page 35, and make parallels to what happens in businesses as well as seeing it in organizations. When you finish this, what you're going to do is on page 36 and 37, there is a discussion. Now, I think you could apply this discussion just about without too much trouble. You might have to shift a word or two to your organization if it's a business organization. If it's a church, you're not going to have any difficulty at all. But the idea is to take this and look at it with some small group, whatever size you want, but you need to have a little bit of discussion around it, and that will be very, very helpful to you. And then you just respond with about 300 words or so, and I have 4 questions. How did you organize the discussion? So give us a sentence. I got these people together. What were the results of the assessment? That's where you add it up, and that's another sentence. What did you learn from the discussion? Okay, there's 250 words. Okay, and then what would be an appropriate next step? And then give us a paragraph to end that up. Alrighty, and I think you'll find that to be a helpful piece, and I really look forward to hearing your reports.